Hi, this is Chris with Pilot Savvy Video. I'm the owner of Pilot Savvy, and welcome to this video series. So what I've been doing over the period of days, weeks, is I've been getting more and more familiar with creating my own wire crimps. And I was watching a video. Don't recall the name of it, but the author of it, but one of the YouTubes, and the guy mentioned about using this phone wire. So yeah, something like this. And then it dawned on me that instead of buying a bunch of wire, use what I had already. I think that was one of his themes, that he used stuff that was already laying around. So I had a box of Cat 6E Ethernet cable that I've been using. And then inside that Cat 6 cable, that's what this is. With the naked eye, you really can't tell the difference between it and the Cat 5 or Cat 5E. And but this is Cat 6. And inside of this is 4 strands of wire, much like telephone wire. Actually, it's probably the same gauge. This here is 23 gauge wire. So I decided, let me see if I can use that for this for the same purpose there, because there's so much wire. So I don't know if you can see it here, but inside, I think you can see it there. There's strands of wire. There's four pairs of 2 in this single wire. As you can see, it's not that thick, but inside there is amazing what you have here, a resource that you have. So what I'm going to do is, if you find some wire and you're not sure what category it is, here it is right here. It's, if you can see it, can you see that? On the box, more likely you're not going to just see a bunch of this laying around out of a box. It's going to be on a reel or a box. And so if you can see that, don't know if you can, it's Cat 6. It'll say it Cat 6. Anyway, I'm going to take some scissors. So the first thing I'm going to do is strip the outer layer of it. Each one of those strands of wire has its own insulation, by the way. So I'm starting right now by cutting this loose, and I'm looking for this guy, a piece of, looks like silk string or something like that. I'm going to cut some more so that I could just kind of run it down the length there. Be careful not to cut myself. Strip it down a little more, and now I have it to where I can just grab it. For a long time I didn't realize what this was for. I always thought, why would they put that there? And that's when I first thought of getting into cabling. So as you see here, I'm just putting the string and pulling it, and what it's doing is just cutting through the cable. As you see, it's a lot faster than just trying to cut through it with a knife. Not to mention you can damage the wire. So I don't know how it did that, but it actually pulled out. So this is what you have in there. Like a fine silk. So, but it's strong enough to cut this out. So what I'm going to do now to challenge, because I kind of pulled that out prematurely, I should have kept it at like a 90-degree angle there. Not going to mess up the wire doing that, so I'm just going to finish pulling it out because it's just a short length. It left something about 6 inches or so. So this now, as you can see, is completely gutted, and what we're left with is these strands of wire I was telling you about. So they're all nice and neat in there, and they are actually wrapped around another piece of item in here that you won't need, a piece of rubbery plastic, rubbery material there. And that's designed to keep these together, kind of give these strands of wire something to pivot on. So I'm just pulling it out, and this is all it is. And yep, it's just that. And that discarded also. Let me go ahead and put this in the garbage as I go so that I'm not making more of a mess. Okay, so that's almost taken care of. All right, so that's in the garbage. And now what you're left with is these 4 pairs of wire. They call this twisted pair. This is what's used in a computer environment and telephone. I've used this for all kinds of things, voice over IP, internet, and server room environment. So and this is what you have here. These 4 strands of wires. Now, you saw us pull this out of these 4 out of the outer protective sleeve. Now, each one of these has their own. Let me see which one I want to do here. I'm going to use this one. So what you have here is these 2 strands, and they're all colors. So you have a brown, what is that, a blue, I guess you call it, blue or purple, blue, green, and orange. Each one of these pairs, one has a solid color, and one has white and solid. So it's a stripe of that color. So this case here is brown. So what I'm doing here is unstranding this. Now, what I came up with, and that could change, it's not written in stone, it's just my personal preference. I think personal preference that I think will be beneficial is I'm using the solid as the ground wire, and I'm using the or the negative, it don't matter, and I'm using the stripe one as the positive wire. And with the work we're doing, it doesn't really matter. It's just going in one end and coming out the other. It don't matter. So I am untwining this here. I had a little method that I used earlier, and it don't seem to be working now. So I'm unstripping this completely, or untwining this. Just going to do one. I wanted to do this just to show you what you could do. So if you see some old wire, not being used, you can still use it. Now, this is not not the best wire for soldering, but I'm not going to solder with this here. And even if I were, I would just kind of tin it up the best I can. But this is solid copper, and that's what makes the this Cat 6 so efficient. It's solid copper. It's not a copper alloy or alloy. So I'm going to set these aside because I'm not going to do anything with them right now. But what you have here is one of those pairs are now untwisted. Now, an advantage I want to mention, go right back to the one that's twisted. The advantage there, the reason that these are twisted is because in a computer environment, you want to minimize the interference. So these are already twisted. And then, so if you want to use just a single strand of wire, that's positive and negative, it'll be a big advantage to just leave it twisted there. It's got those certain amount of twists per inch that will actually ward off some of the electromagnetic interference, such as what you would find in a flight simulator with all the components in harmony with each other. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use these as like individual ones. I have some of the pairs made up already. And on this one here, I'm going to just use to demonstrate stripping it, because the insulation is so thin, the wire is thin, so the insulation is so thin, you really can't see the insulation. But I'm straightening this out and getting ready to crimp it to show you. So I'm only using the pliers, and this is the same technique I use when I'm getting ready to crimp it for a Cat 5. Normally what you would do is you would leave it in the sleeve and crimp those ends, and with it, you'll prepare the ends and slide those into a connector, a Cat 5 connector. Not going to do that in this case. So what I am going to do though It's I'm losing stuff here. So I think I showed this earlier. Let me get, I got stuff in the way here. Let me get this out of the way as well. All right, so I mentioned this earlier on the video. This is DuPont DuPont female connectors. So that's what you get with this. You know, this is the DuPont connector. So you wanna, this is what these connectors are for. Anyway, so I'm gonna do two things there. I'm gonna, well, multiple things, more than two. So this is the DuPont connectors that I'm using. I've already broken off one of them here. So that's for my DuPont end of the wire. And I think I showed this in another video. And this is, I heard this referred to as a spade connector. So let me put it down here. I think you can see it a little better there, maybe. This is I heard it referred to as a spade connector. And so this is the box of these. So it's 3 values. Was that Huru connectors there? Just an assortment. I got this here. I wasn't really sure what size I would need. I'm glad I got this here because it turns out I did use the two that I've used was the larger one here and the smallest one here. And these are the ones, the small ones that are the 2.8 millimeter are the ones that I, the 2.8 millimeter and the 6.3 millimeter. So these are what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna split this video out for time's sake. And on the next video, I'm gonna show you how to go about stripping this wire, this thin wire. Now I know there's some tools out there, but I don't have it just yet. So this is Chris with Pilot Savvy Video. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the follow-up video on this as well. If you like the video, leave a thumbs up. If you want to be notified when I do release that other video, go ahead and subscribe and leave comments. Let me know what you think about this video. Again, this is Chris. Thanks for tuning in. Bye now.